All right, well, good evening, fastball fans, and welcome to Peterson Park here in beautiful downtown Mitchell, Ontario. This is our nightcap on day one of the ISC Canada East qualifier. Blair Setford here with you. I want to thank Peter Labardius for sticking around for that Gremlins Drillers game. What a game that was. 1-0. Wimamata banging one off the center field fence, and then just tweaked his knee a little bit coming into second base. That was the lone run of the game, and the Drillers 1-0 winners over the Bear Creek Gremlins. Earlier, Hill United Chiefs 8-1 over the Toronto Batmen. So the nightcap here, it is JDT. There's the offensive lineup for the Bear Creek Express: Callum Bichelle, Rafa Flores, the designated player, Leisure Pinto, Alan Salgado, David Galino, Tyrone Bartarello, Jack Burt, Kynan Molander, and Yusuf Davis in the 9th spot. It'll be Liam Potts will be on the board for the Bear Creek Express tonight. And then defensively here for JDT, it's Jordan Pomeroy. He's in center field. Out and left, it's Felipe Munoz over in right. It's Jonathan Lynch. And then around the horn, Fetty Eaters over at third. Guadalupe Ajam is at shortstop rather. At second base, it's Braden Ducharme. At first, Dylan Cunningham on the board for GDT. A little bit of a surprise start. Jan Carlos Gonzalez, and he is pitching to Fernando Gomez behind the plate for JDT. Gendry Torres is the designated player. There's a good look at Jan Gonzalez, star for the Dominican national team. And we are just about set and ready to go. Just got a tap on the fence here in front of us from Rafa Flores. What a character, and how great is it to see Rafa Flores here at the Canada East qualifier. One of the legends in our game, a world champion with Venezuela. The look on his face when they wrapped up that championship, and yes, I know there are some concerns about the way with the positive test for the pitcher for Venezuela, but the rules are the rules, and Venezuela are the world champions. But for Rafa Flores, winning that world championship was magnificent to see. We are underway. Jan Gonzalez in with strike one to Callum Bichelle. Callum, all-world last year for Bear Creek Express, second at the World Tournament last year. Hill United taking them out in the championship game. But what a run the Express went on in Championship Saturday in Minnesota. 2 big wins to get to that championship game. Then Ty Sebastian just out of gas in the championship. And Hill United, they were not going to be denied last year. Back-to-back championships for the Chiefs. But it's a new season. And who's going to win this year? Well, anybody's guess. I think any of the top 6 teams can beat anybody on a given day. We've seen all kinds of winners over the last couple of weeks, and this is going to be a great test here this weekend here at the Canada East qualifier, Peterson Park. If you're just joining us, we've started early. We're capitalizing on the fact that we're actually on time, knock on wood. I don't want to jinx us, but we are tonight, so we started a little bit early to get this stuff going. Bear Creek Express visitors and taking on their brethren, JDT First Energy in white out on the field. And that one misses upstairs to Callum Bichelle. Again, Bichelle, the leadoff batter for the Bear Creek Express. If you're just getting in with us, you've missed a couple of pitches. 2-2 is the count. 3-2, sorry. And that one just misses inside ball 4. So Callum Bichelle works a leadoff walk, and that'll bring up Rafa Flores. Tossed away the wrong bat. Had to go get it from Leisure Pinto. Tap on the shin pads for his fellow catcher, Fernando Gomez. Rafa's got on a small suit of armor on that left leg. In for a strike. We'll show you that whole ad a little bit later in the game, but that's one of our sponsors, Dreamcatcher. And a big cut. Flores comes up empty there. And Gomez steps out. There's a wide shot of Diamond A here at Keterson Park. It's in great shape here tonight. The grounds crew was out in the middle of the afternoon. They were getting the lawns cut. They were getting all 4 diamonds dragged. All of the parks here are in terrific shape. There was a rainstorm that went through Mitchell this morning. Apparently it rained pretty hard here. The grounds crew a little bit later than they actually wanted to get onto the fields, but they got it into great shape as down on strike swinging goes Rafa Flores. Good pitch from Gonzalez to get him. And that'll bring up Luigi Pinto. The seemingly ageless veteran, just like a fine wine gets better with age, says Luigi Pinto. Several years with the Circle Tap Dukes. Came over to the Express last year, made All-World. Split his time catching and then ultimately moved over to first base. Jack Burt will be behind the dish tonight for the Express, where he finished up last year. And that one is past a diving Ducharme, and going coast to coast is Bichel. And Luigi Pinto just continues to hit the ball, get it in play, pick up base hits, and move the base runners along. You see it here, just goes with the pitch, takes it the opposite field, and right past a diving Braden Ducharme. So 1 down, runners on the corners, and that'll bring up Alan Salgado. Alan is out in center field tonight. Swings at a big rise ball from Gonzalez. Salgado's in his second year with the Express, came over from the Glowworms squad when their operations came to a sudden halt. And good to see Alan continuing at a high level. Swing and miss, real good drop on the outside corner there from Gonzalez. First time I saw Jan Gonzalez, 2019. It was in this tournament. He came to pitch for the Toronto Batmen that year in the qualifier. Got them into, I want to say, into the championship. They may have even won it that year. To go back and double check. But then had some visa issues, as sometimes the South American players do, with trying to get into, or the Caribbean players do as well, trying to get into the U.S. And Luis Amaya ended up pitching for Toronto that year at the World Tournament and actually won the Newcomer of the Year award. So you could say that he owes that to Jan Carlos Gonzalez a little bit. Bends the changeup in there for a strike. Gomez and Salgado are chatting about that one. Dialed it down to 63. And a big rise ball snaps it past Alan Salgado. 2 strikeouts on the inning for Jan Carlos Gonzalez. Strands a pair of base runners, and JDT will come to the plate here in the bottom of the first. Scoreless tie. Just getting underway. Well, welcome back here for the bottom of the first inning. The JDT First Energy squad coming to the plate. Jordan Pomeroy will lead things off. He'll be followed by Jeffrey Torres, the DP, then Guadalupe Ayun, and then Aleo Munoz, Federico Eater, Dylan Cunningham bat 6, Jonathan Lynch in the 7th spot, Braden Ducharme in 8, and Fernando Gomez, the catcher, will hit 9th for JDT. Defensively, for the Bear Creek Express, left to right across the outfield, it is Yusuf Davis in left, Alex Delgado's in center, Callum Michel is in right field. And then around the horn, Tyrone Bartarillo is at third base, David Molino's at short, at second, Ty Molander. And at first base tonight, it's Luigi Pinto for the Express. Jack Burt's behind the plate, and Liam Potts, the young lefty from New Zealand, is on the board for the Express. Liam Potts, the 2025 softballer of the year for the WBSC. We saw Liam at the U23 World Cup. His New Zealand U23 Black Sox finishing 4th, dropping a tight one to Mexico in the bronze medal game. And he comes in with a strike to Jordan Pomeroy. Liam Potts was the scheduled starter for that bronze medal game and was injured in warm-up. We had a little bit of speculation at the time that perhaps the New Zealand coaching staff was trying to work their way through with some different pitching, and use the whole staff. But Liam was the scheduled starter, but due to an injury, and that was readily apparent when he did come in, that he was not in full health. Pomeroy's got some pop in the bat. Takes called strike 3 here. Can't get the bat off the shoulder. Potts zips one in for strike 3. We'll have to save the Jordan Pomeroy story about the catch from a couple of years ago and going viral. We'll save that for the next time he comes up. Jeffrey Torres, designated player for JDT, to the dish. That one just misses outside. A full international contingent here for the JDT squad. Pomeroy, Dylan Cunningham, 2 Canadians on the team. You've got Argentina represented. You've got Mexico, the United States with Lynch and Ducharme, Dominican with Gonzalez, the pitcher. High hopper, but that'll be foul. Bear Creek, same story. A couple of Aussies, Venezuela represented, Mexico, New Zealand, Australia, and the U.S. for the Bear Creek Express. Ty Sebastian not in the starting lineup. That's a bit of a surprise for Bear Creek. Japan with Yusuke Morita. Chasing way upstairs goes Jeffrey Torres, and Potts has struck out the first 2. And this brings up Guadalupe Ayun. I'm still working on the pronunciation. It's a work in progress, so forgive me here. I talked to Luciano right before game time, and he was working with me on the pronunciation. But this guy is one of the most exciting young players in the game. Defensive whiz out at shortstop, and the stick is coming along very nicely as well. Lots of pop in the bat. This kid can hit it out of the yard in the blink of an eye. Well, he went after this one, hit it out to right, drifting and fighting the wind a little bit out there as Callum Michel, but he tracks it down for the 3rd out of the inning. A nice efficient inning for Liam Potts. 7 pitches, he's out of the inning. And we are scoreless through 1 complete, just getting underway here in the nightcap. JDT and Bear Creek Express. sorry. I don't want to screw you up. I'll figure it out. For the Bear Creek Express, this one is skipped in from Gonzalez. Bartarillo, longtime veteran of the North American Summers over here. Of course, plays still at home back in New Zealand. Fouls this one straight back to the screen. I've always thought of Tyrone as one of those professional hitters. He comes to the park always prepared for the offensive side, very skilled on the defensive side too. Still plays a great third base. Holds back on the changeup. They're going to ask down at first, and no, he did not go around. Kevin DiDomenico is our home plate umpire. Bartarillo, Jack Burt, Kyden Molander. This one skipped in. Three balls, one strike to Bartarillo. And that one fouled back to the screen, so we'll run the count full. Settling into just a gorgeous night here. 9:03 Eastern Time in Peterson Park, Mitchell, Ontario, as Gonzalez paints the outside corner and third straight strikeout. Fourth on the evening already for Giancarlos Gonzalez as he gets Tyrone Bartarillo looking. That'll bring up Jack Burt. Burt now in his second season with the Express. Bunts this one foul back to the screen. And I'm wondering if Jack Burt grew another 4 inches over the North American winter. It's probably too old for a growth spurt, but cuts after this one. Can't catch up. Apologies for the silence there. Just looking after a couple of tournament details. And swing and a miss. That is 4 in a row for Gonzalez. He's on fire early here. And pours in a strike to Kynan Molander. Kynan on the Aussie squad that took silver at the U23 World Cup down in Colombia. That's now about 6-7 weeks ago. Fortunate enough to be involved on the broadcast crew with Chris Abbott and Steve Savern and, of course, Luciano Lafrano and the whole crew, the WBSC and Game Time. Several players from that U23 World Cup here this week, most notably Jack Besgrove from the Australian squad. A couple members of Team Canada are here. A lot of them on the Toronto U23 Batmen. They're playing right now on diamond directly behind center left field, actually. That one to the screen. So when you're looking out from home plate, if we just extended that view a little bit, you can just see left field in behind our left field there. Kingston Axemen and Toronto U23 Batmen, they're in action. Good low rise from Gonzalez and some zip on it, 77 miles an hour. You can follow, if you're watching this game, you can also follow along on Game Changer with the other games that are going on here tonight. And Molander breaks that strikeout streak with a 2-out walk. The white division here features these two teams as well as the Gremlins, the Drillers, the Chiefs, and the Batmen. So the top 6 in the rankings are all in the Canada East white division on Game Changer. And then there's also the red division, which has 12 teams. I won't be able to name all of them off the top of my head. On the move, and looked like he got him down there at second base. So Molander caught stealing. So effectively a 1-2-3 inning for Gonzalez and JDT. We'll go to the home half with the team in white coming back up to the plate. Teddy Eater will lead things off for the JDT squad. He'll be followed by Dylan Cunningham and then Jonathan Lynch. Nope, it is Aleo Munoz to lead things off. Thank God I've got the scorekeeper, Steve Cool, here to my right, keeping me honest. That one misses upstairs. Aleo Munoz had a phenomenal ISC World Tournament last year with the STK squad. Led the tournament in home runs and in RBIs. Was in the conversation for tournament MVP. And a great changeup there from Liam Potts. Dials that one all the way down to 59 miles an hour. I mean, Liam is far from the hardest thrower here this weekend, but he mixes things up as well as anybody. And you talk to the high-level pitchers. Yes, velocity is a thing, and Liam Potts does throw medium hard. but it's his change of speeds and his location. That's what wins you ball games. That one is lifted foul out of play down the left side. You can see some members of the Waterdown Hammer Legends team over there. If you haven't been to Keeterson Park, it's certainly, if you're within southwestern Ontario, it's worth the drive. They've got a great pavilion here. We've got the 4 diamonds all centered around that pavilion, and it's just a great facility. You can see 3 diamonds with not too much effort, and the 4th one is not too far away. And that one misses down and in to Leo Munoz. So a leadoff walk for JDT. Their first base runner here, top of the 2nd inning. They went 1, 2, 3 in the 1st. Now we'll get to Fetty Eater. On the outside corner for a strike. This is the problem when the back line of the batter's box gets erased with the first batter on each side. Kevin DiDomenico trying to keep the boys honest and within the confines of that batter's box. Runs up through, but that one never close to the strike zone. Pinto came down and had a word, but I'm not sure who it was for. I don't think it was for the home plate umpire. It sounded like it was for Fetty Eater. Those two would have been teammates with the Circle Tap Dukes just fairly recently. Tapped it on the infield, and they have to turn and spin as Munoz is able to get out of the way of the tag. But a good play there by Molander to get the lead runner. So Eater aboard on the fielder's choice. That'll bring up Dylan Cunningham. Good to see Dylan still at the game at a high level. Called a strike on the outside corner. Cunningham with Bear Creek. And prior to that, with the Northeast Drillers and the Niagara Stompers, as they were known. Chases that one upstairs. Make sure you join us all weekend here on Softball Premier TV on the YouTube channel. We'll be with you here all weekend. We'll be picking it right back up at 8:30 tomorrow morning. The Drillers are back in action tomorrow. They've got the Toronto Batmen at 8:30 tomorrow morning. Cunningham chases the rise ball upstairs. Both guys have got the rise ball working tonight, Potts and Gonzalez. 3rd strikeout of the game for Liam Potts. You see the rise ball here on the pitch track. Took a little bit off that one, just on the outside corner. There you see down to 61. Jonathan Lynch at the plate. Lynch is one of those guys you can just tell who it is by his stance at the plate. Very closed, and then opens up, chases that one upstairs. That one upstairs as well to Lynch. He's collected a few jerseys over the years as Jonathan Lynch, but he's always been a standout player. And leaves that one alone. Spent a season with the Hill United Chiefs. He was with the Circle Tap Dukes 1 year. They were the Hallman Twins the year they won the ISC championship, the Kitchener Twins that year. This one is to Hopper out to Molinder, the toss over to Galino, and they will get the force at second for the final out of the inning. Strand 1 in the second. We'll go to the home half. The JDT squad coming back up. Just getting into the sunset hour, and go Yusuf Davis, Callum Bichelle, Rafa Flores, 9-1-2 for the Express. Loving the graphics that Luciano Lafrano is developing here. We're getting more and more of those headshots. We've got most of the top 6 teams. If you're listening or watching with us and you're a player, and you're going to be at the World Tournament, send us a headshot like that, and we can use that in the broadcast. We're going to try and take some here this weekend, but we want to be fully loaded by the time we get to the Bear Creek JDT First Energy Veterans Memorial Fields down in Melbourne, Ontario for the ISC World Tournament, August 8th to the 15th. Boy, cannot wait for the World Tournament to come to that facility. Was there a couple of weeks ago. It is looking great. If you were watching some of the coverage, or if you were there and then you're with us tonight, you know how great that facility looks, and it gets better every day too. Low rise, and that one's fought off by Yusuf Davis. Yusuf flies in from the West Coast for the tournaments and flies back home. I think he's listed as Oakland, but I thought he was living in Las Vegas these days. I stand to be corrected on that, but always great to run into Yusuf when we get a chance to talk in between games. And dials in the changeup. Davis frozen at the plate. And that is 6 strikeouts now on the night for Gonzalez through the first 9. Back to the top of the shop. Bichelle worked a walk, and as far as third in the first inning, fouls off this one. And in for a strike with that one. What Gonzalez and Devin McCullough and Pami Madzalukwa, they're going to be a handful for anybody. These trio of pitchers for the JDT First Energy squad. What a rise ball there from Gonzalez as he gets Bichelle to chase up and out. Watch the location here for this pitch. This just explodes out of the zone. So Flores to the plate. Bends this one just on the inside corner, or just off, it looks like. Flores was not at the World Tournament last year. Prior to that, the last couple of years with the JB squad out of California. Spent a couple of years with the then New York Gremlins. Oh, and this one skips in and got a bite out of Kevin D. Domenico, our home plate umpire, as it bypassed the glove of Gomez behind the plate. You can see it here. It's going to skip right over the glove, and that's in a not great spot. Kevin's a tough guy, but boy, you never want to take one in that area. He's got a lot of pride. He's back behind the dish. And you got two catchers out here, too. Flores spends most of his time catching. He's the DP tonight. Gomez, both of them were quick to turn around and make sure that Kevin was okay. Strike at the top of the zone. Dialed the changeup all the way down to 57 on that one. And you can see it just catches the top of the zone. And zips this one in for strike two to Flores. Fouls that one off, and that got a bite out of Fernando Gomez behind the plate. So everybody is getting battered and bruised and behind home plate here. Flores has got a little bit of a chuckle there because he's usually on the receiving end of these. So full count. In for strike three, paints the corner. And Gonzalez strikes out the side here in the third. Eight on the night. Great pitch right on the inside corner. You see it bites the corner there. Braden Ducharme, Fernando Gomez, Jordan Pomeroy, 891 for JDT. Braden and Brandon, the Ducharme brothers from Minnesota. Big cut there. And they burst onto the scene a couple of years back. They spent a couple of years with the Ostrander team and helped that team develop into a top 6 squad. Just misses outside from Potts. The two of them are going to be mainstays on Team USA for the next several years, or next several cycles, let's call it. We'll get back into the qualifier cycle next year. Of course, that Pan Am Championship was back in February, won by Mexico, and we may see young Carlos Parra as this one is flared out to center. First hit of the night for the JDT squad goes to Braden Ducharme. Carlos Parra, phenom from Mexico, hard thrower, great changeup. Pitched his team to the bronze medal at the U23 World Cup. Made his North American debut last weekend at the Bear Creek Classic. Gomez to the dish for JDT here. Has to bunt this one, but fouls it back into the screen and lands right into my lap. Was not expecting that whatsoever, but fortunately didn't hit anything other than the table. Got a heads up at the last second from Jack Burt. And tries to bunt this one again, and that's foul. JDT got into the championship game at the Bear Creek Classic last weekend. They took out Toronto 8-1 in their semifinal. Short right. That's got a chance at falling in, but Callum Bichot tracks it down. He came a long way to get that. You can see where he's ended up. He's ended up over in short center, but look how far Callum Bichot comes to get this ball. I thought this had a chance at falling in. But there's Bichot on the run and calling off Molander to haul that down. So Jordan Pomeroy to the plate. Caught looking back in the first. Swing and a miss down in the dirt on the move, and easy stolen base for Braden Ducharme. So Burt is permitted to go out and have a quick conversation about the signals with Liam Potts. Runner on second base, they're going to change up the signals. So that's not a charged defensive delay. I know we talk about that a lot on the ISC broadcasts, and that rule brought in a couple of years ago to help speed up the pace of play. It's the endless parade of visits out in the circle. This one is going to go foul down the right side. Pomeroy out in front of it. You can see Descharm there trying to peer around the corner of Liam Potts, trying to pick up a sign. This one just misses on the inside corner. And this one is going to come back just in behind us, just out of the reach of the crowd in behind. JDT trying to get out in front. And see if they can cash in their first look at a scoring opportunity. Pomeroy here, way out in front of the changeup. 63 and down in the dirt from Liam Potts. A real good pitch. And this one misses downstairs to Torres. You see Burt go down to one knee there. That seems to be all the rage with catchers the last few years, last 2 or 3 seasons. Usually you only see it when there's nobody on base, but Burt wanting to get really low for the pitch. Falling behind here, 3-0 to Torres. And pours in a strike here. We'll make it 3-1. Pulled just foul down the line, just past a diving Dylan Cunningham. Sorry, Luigi Pinto down at first base, both of them number 3. Want to say hello to Michael Titheridge, watching from Australia tonight. Thanks for being with us here on Softball Premier. And that one is punched foul down the left side and out of play. Michael, the team manager for the Aussie Steelers. Potts a long pull on the Gorilla Gold Rag. That one fouled off the mask this time of Kevin DiDomenico. It's already had a pretty tough night back there. And Jack Burt will go have a visit out with Liam Potts and give Kevin DiDomenico a second. And he'll get a check here with his base ump colleague just to make sure he's okay. Those will rattle your senses for a few minutes. Torres having a good battle here with Liam Potts. 2 down in the bottom of the 3rd inning, still scoreless. This one is punched out to right. Bichelle, a couple of steps in, and will haul that down for the 3rd out of the inning. Ducharme stranded out at 2nd. Good pitchers duel here between Liam Potts and Juan Carlos Gonzalez. JDT, Bear Creek Express, still looking for the first one here in the nightcap. Well, there you see Luger Pinto, Alan Salgado, David Galino. Three, 4, 5 in the batting order for the Bear Creek Express. Been tough sledding here tonight against Juan Carlos Gonzalez. 8 strikeouts for Gonzalez already. Pinto way up in the air, and a basket catch. That's not quite how you draw it up, but Ducharme right above the grass. Watch him go after this out in short right. I was expecting him to be called off out there by Lynch, but tucked that away somewhat unconventionally. So 1 pitch, 1 out, and Alan Salgado to the plate. It is cooling down here in Mitchell. We're down to about 16 Celsius. It was sunny with some clouds here most of the day, and then about halfway through that 4 o'clock game, we had a little black rain cloud park itself over top of us for 30 minutes in that neighborhood. It never rained hard, but it was just enough to be a bit of an annoyance. No threat to stop the game at all or anything like that, but it just certainly was something we all could have lived without. And then before you knew it, it blew away because it's been windy here up until really almost game time was when the wind finally subsided here this evening. And the sun was out again by 6 o'clock. But that's been the Ontario spring here this year. Not been a great weather stretch by any standard. Chopper on the infield. Ducharme again, off his chest, picks it up and throws out. Salgado. He's had anything but an easy inning over there already. Braden Ducharme. So David Galino. It was David Galino who ended the first down on strikes. David has always got that colorful attire. In for a strike. two of the best shortstops in the game with Ion and Galeno. Ion? Still working on that one. Guadalupe Ion. Shortstop for JDT, and David Galeno at the plate here for Bear Creek. Fouled right back to the screen. Now in his fourth season with the Express, David Galeno came up, was solidly in the 9 spot, but he has hit just about everywhere in the order for Bear Creek, including spending a fair bit of time cleanup a couple of seasons back. Swings at this one off the screen. Generous bounce for Gomez as it seemed to hit that center post and came right back to him. But they throw out Galeno to complete the strikeout. The 9th of the evening for Juan Carlos Gonzalez. He is looking good tonight for this JDT team. Still looking for the first run in this one. Scoreless between these two cousins. We'll go to the home half of the 4th with the JDT squad coming back up. Here for JDT. Guadalupe Ion. In for a strike from Liam Potts. Ion flied out to right field to end the first. They wanted that drop ball way down, but it's actually in behind Ion. And he just let it sail past him. He didn't really flinch on it. Ducked a little bit, but didn't really flinch. And that one is fouled off. That'll go way out of play. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes to Guadalupe Ion. You can just watch his swing. It is very smooth. Oh, this one again in behind him. And a well-earned walk for the leadoff batter, and that there is some action now down in the bullpen for Bear Creek. I believe that's Ty Sebastian. Looks like number 8. So leadoff walk for Guadalupe Ion. And that will bring up Leo Munoz, Choco Munoz. His services were in high demand when STK temporarily ceased operations. Out to Molander, quick flip and a cross from Galino and call it 2. A real smooth double play out there. There's kind of Molander who started this with that little backhand flip. This is tailor-made from Munoz. Hard hit ball to second. And look how pretty this is coming across right there. Nice play. 4-6-3 equals 2. In for a strike to Fetty Eater. Swing and a miss. If there's anybody that follows the Argentina game in the offseason, you know Fetty's dad, Fabian. And if he's watching tonight, want to say hello to him. I'm sure he is watching. He follows just about every inning, all of the broadcasts. I know he was all over the broadcast, the streaming last week at the Bear Creek Classic. Out to Molander again. And the quick toss and a quick inning for Liam Potts. Boy, he's very efficient out there. Those snazzy double plays will help. We'll go to top of the 5th. We're moving along here in the nightcap, but we're still scoreless. Bartorillo, Burt, and Molander, who has been very busy out at second base tonight for Bear Creek. He played a lot of corner infield at the World Cup, but moved over here to the middle infield, and Bartorillo can't hold back on the changeup opener from Gonzalez. He's thrown that pitch in just about every count here so far tonight. And then zips this one, and he almost slung that one. It wasn't quite sidearm, but he just snapped that one across. And then tried to ramp that one up a little bit and threw about a 34-footer. I don't think I have seen Hernando Gomez catch before, but clearly, just from his mannerisms and the way that he's having fun out here, he clearly went to the school of Rafa Flores. Fights that one off, but it's foul. Paul Sebastian chased that one all the way over to the fence to knock it down for Fetty Eater, and they're having a chuckle about it because Fetty was step for step with him. It was a race to see who was going to get that to the fence first. In for strike 3 on the outside corner. Bertarillo, again, second time tonight, can't get the bat off the shoulder. He's caught looking. Jack Burt at the plate. Shows bunt, pulls it back, but takes a strike for all of that. That one to the screen. And zips in a little low rise at the bottom of the zone there for strike 3. Gonzalez. Right on the outside corner. Boy, that's a tough pitch. $11 now on the night for Gonzalez. 3 in a row and counting here. Kind of Molander at the dish. He shows bunt and again takes a strike on that inside corner. Gonzalez consistently in the upper 70s. This misses outside. Hit 80 with that one. You can see those dark clouds on the left side of your screen. It is 0 dark 30 out here to right center from our vantage point. Bounce that one almost into the open door of the dugout. Well, about 2 strikes to Molander. And lets that one go. Now 2-2. Gonzalez will step back. A couple times he's looked like he's overthrown it, and that might have been one of them right there. Called strike 3, top of the zone. 3 straight punch outs for Carlos Gonzalez. 12 now on the night, right at the top of the zone. Good call there by Kevin DiDomenico. So Dylan Cunningham, Jonathan Lynch, and then Braden Ducharme. Braden's got the only hit of the night for JDT. Cunningham yanks this one foul. Liam Potts and Jan Carlos Gonzalez locked up here tonight in a good old-fashioned pitcher's duel. Kingston Axemen and Toronto U23 Batman tied 1-1 in other action around the park. Townsend tied, leading the Georgian Bay Giants 2-1. That one is going to get up and out of play to our left. And I am going to keep my eye on those ones now, since they might fall down off of that screen right into our laps. Usually that kind of stuff only happens to Peter Labardius. He's a ball magnet back here. I don't know if you noticed that. Called strike 3, inside corner to Dylan Cunningham. He can't get the bat off the shoulder. Potts and Gonzalez are just picking apart the corners here tonight. And I wonder if there's any kind of rule on having mismatched shoes out there. It's finally dawned on me that Potts has got one black shoe and one white one. We're only in the 5th inning. It's taken me that long to notice. There's a cover on it. That's what's causing the one to look like it's black, his left foot. But it's like a pitching toe almost. But you can see it. It's when he goes forward. Yeah, it's definitely, they're white on the back for sure. But there you see it as he's walking back from the front. It looks like he's got 2 different colored shoes on. A good old-fashioned, I haven't seen a pitching toe in at least a decade and a half. This one is laced out to center field. Jonathan Lynch aboard with just the second base hit of the night for JDT. Here's the guy who got the first one, Braden Ducharme. So we'll see if JDT can put something together here. Can't catch up with the rise ball. And that one just misses down low. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Ducharme. Singled, easily stole second base, but stranded there. And that gets past at second base, and going coast to coast was Jonathan Lynch. Molander, that's the first one he hasn't been able to get to all night. So back-to-back singles by JDT, and they've got something cooking here with 1 down, bottom of the 5th. And we'll see if Jamie Simpson elects to put Ducharme, the speedster, into motion. Gomez flied out to short right in his last trip. Gets the bunt down, and Potts throws it down the right field line. Lynch comes around. Ducharme is going to speed in, sliding in head first, safe. And JDT push across the first 2 runs on a throwing error. Potts looked Lynch back, but then I don't know if he just tried to hurry the throw. He had time. He had plenty of time to get Fernando Gomez and then just throws it down the right field line. There's the play at the plate, sliding in safely. Comes Ducharme all the way around from first base. A costly two-run throwing error here by Liam Potts. And we got a pinch runner out at second base, too. We'll pick that up in just a second for you. I believe that is Alejandro Gonzalez. It is Alejandro Gonzalez running for Gomez. Alex Gomez, as he was known last year, Gonzalez rather, Alex Gonzalez, believe a younger brother to Tony Gonzalez on the Hill United Chiefs. He was with the Chiefs last year as a pinch runner. So we're back at the top of the shop for Jordan Pomeroy, down on strikes twice. And that one goes off the screen all the way down to Pinto at first. That's a big ricochet, and that's an easy 60 feet for Gonzalez. Off the toe of Potts and snapped across by Molander, who went a long way to his right to go get that, but they score that third run. So an infield ground out RBI for Pomeroy. But look at Molander go get this. What a great play out there by Molander. Kynan's sister, Tamika Whitefield, is actually playing with the Aussie Spirit over in the WBSC Women's World Cup qualifier that's going on in Prague right now. Canada's over there, the Aussies, Chinese Taipei, Cuba. Czechia, obviously, being held in Prague. Gendry Torres. That one goes foul. Some softball blood in the family there. And older brother, Aaron, former Major League Baseball player with the Angels and Twins. Thanks to Michael Titheridge for all of this. Fouls that one back to the screen. Aaron actually played softball for Australia at the U18 World Cup in Argentina in 2014. Before signing for baseball. Wow. Thanks, Michael. Those are some great facts. Very talented family, too. So it's in the genes, you could say, for Kynan Molander. That one misses outside. Torres yanks this one foul. Ty Sebastian is back up throwing. You can just see him on the far side of that long shot we just had. Torres, again, he's having a real lengthy at-bat here. Second time in his at-bats that he has worn out Liam Potts. He's fouling off pitch after pitch. And a good change up there by Potts to get out of the inning and get Gendry Torres for the third out. But JDT push across 3, helped by a throwing error. And they'll take that 3-0 lead into top of the 6th here as we are wrapping up day 1 at the ISC Canada East qualifier. Big weekend here in Mitchell, Ontario. One, two. So those are the 3 guys who are going to face a new pitcher and catcher battery for JDT. Devin McCullough is in the circle for the team in white, and now behind the dish is Dallas Cornelius. So a battery change, if you will, for JDT First Energy. And over at first, we've got Jeff Lyons. Yusuf Davis fouls off that first offering from Devin McCullough from Saskatoon. All-World last year for this JDT squad. Big rise ball, terrific changeup from Devin McCullough. For Jan Carlos Diaz, a terrific night. 12 strikeouts, gave up just 1 hit. That to Luiger Pinto all the way back in the first inning. Just slammed the door shut after that. That one misses downstairs from McCullough. Yeah, a little curveball, it looked like, or a curve rise on the outside corner. And foul. Just foul down the left side. Fetty Ader was going to make the play on that one no matter what. McCullough comes in with the low rise and fouled straight back to the screen by Yusuf Davis. It is full dark here in Mitchell at this point of the evening. Just creeping up on 10:15. And there's the changeup from Devin McCullough. He gets Davis swinging. Top of the shop, Callum Bichelle walked and then struck out in the third. Rafa Flores, he's looking to get on track tonight. A pair of strikeouts against Gonzalez. Goes around, says our first base umpire. So strike one to Callum Bichelle. And this one hits Bichelle right on the foot. So he's aboard on the hit by pitch, and he'll be shaking that out when he gets down there. But it puts a runner aboard for Rafa Flores. That one missing outside. Got that low rise working at the bottom of the zone right now. And if you've looked away from your screen for a moment, you still know when Rafa Flores is swinging because you can hear it. He unleashes when he goes. Just misses outside. Flores down to one knee on the swing. He went after that one hard too, but fouled it straight back. Just foul. Ader again right on top of it. Flores fouls out back to the screen. Bear Creek trying to fight back after giving up 3 in the bottom of the 5th. Upstairs. Good battle here between Devin McCullough, and Rafa Flores. Flores just wanted to double check on the count. And chases the rise ball up and out of the zone. Good pitch from Devin McCullough to get Rafa Flores swinging. Gets him to chase upstairs. You can see the look of anguish on the face of Flores. That one squished through the wickets, and up to second base goes Callum Beachley. He'd been pretty stationary over at first. He's got good wheels. Maybe they might have wanted to put him in motion, but he gets the extra 60 feet. I always wonder what Luiger Pinto's shoe budget is. He's always got a snazzy pair of shoes on. Hits the bottom of this one, a mile up in the air, and calling for it out in left field for JDT was Munoz out in front of Pomeroy. They strand Bichelle at second. McCullough comes on and does the job here in the 6th. We'll go to the home half with JDT now out in front by 3. Guadalupe Ion, Choco Munoz, and Fetty Eater will be the batters here for JDT. Bottom of the 6th inning. The JDT squad looking to add to this 3-0 lead. They'll have to do it against Ty Sebastian, who has come on here in relief for Liam Potts. 3 unearned runs. First pitch swinging, a chopper out to Molander, and on to first for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th. Munoz has twice gone Molander's way. apologies. No, he walked in the second and then was erased on the ground out to Molander, but then hit in the double play in the fourth. Chases upstairs, the rise ball. And to the screen from Sebastian. Ty did a fair bit of work at the Bear Creek Classic last week, but Carlos Parra also saw a fair bit of time in the circle for the Express. They did not make the playoff round. Gremlins, JDT, Batmen, and Drillers all found their way into the playoffs. Hill United were on the outside looking in as well. Chases upstairs, down on strikes, first of the night for Sebastian. Potts finished with 6 strikeouts. Ty's the reigning ISC MVP, was also the Canada East Player of the Year. We'll have a little presentation for Ty at some point this weekend with that Player of the Year award. It's at least the second time that he's won it. Eater can't catch up to that one. One misses upstairs. Just outside. And snaps this one past Fetty Eater for a 3-up, 3-down inning for Ty Sebastian on relief here for Liam Potts and the Bear Creek Express. They need 3 to tie this one as we go to the top of the 7th. Val Salgado, David Galino, Tyrone Bartarillo. 4-5-6 for the Bear Creek Express. They need 3 against Devin McCullough here just to tie. Down to their final 3 outs are the Express. Able to hold back on that changeup was Salgado. Looked like he had waved at it, but they didn't ask. And punched through the left side, through the 5.5 hole. And aboard with a base hit is Alan Salgado. Good bit of hitting, just taking that pitch off the outside corner. So a bit of an upset in the red division. Townsend tied 2-1 winners over the Georgian Bay Giants, and Toronto Batmen 3-1 over the Junior Batmen, U23, over the Kingston Axemen. So we are the last game of the night here on day 1 at the ISC Canada East qualifier. Thanks to John Vleeming for bringing those over. Galino able to hold back on that one. And again, does not chase upstairs. Good job of holding back on that one. Well, the Express will bring the tying run to the plate here in the 7th as that walk puts 2 runners aboard with nobody down. And certainly this wasn't the inning that Devin McCullough was looking for, but nothing much ever worries Devin McCullough out there. Good. So we got a pinch runner for Salgado. That's Chase Konechny, next to Steve Cool. Literally my right-hand man tonight. And that one is in for a strike as well. There's a little flare. That's going to fall in front. And sliding in safely goes Konechny. So he comes around with the first run of the game for the Express. Galino held up at second on the play. Bartarillo, an RBI single. So 3 straight base runners. Still nobody down here in top of the 7th inning. And the Express leaving it literally to the last minute. Yusuke Morita will bat for Burt. That one just misses downstairs to Marita. And there's the changeup, but that one's just off the corner as well. And falling behind 3-0 to Yusuke Marita is Devin McCullough. Zips that one in for a strike. But that goes to the screen, and I would have sworn that was ball 4 to Marita. But we got a full count. Fouls this one off, does Marita as well. And he just wanted to get the bat on that and foul it off. No intent to try to get that in play. And again, fouls this one off. So a good battle here between McCullough and Marita. Tying run is Bartarillo. He's up at second base. Galino is over at third. There's the changeup, and able to lay off it is Marita on a big fist bump and a clap of the hands from Yusuke Marita as he works a hard walk. And he is excited, to say the least, down at first base. Paul Sebastian, the skipper for the Express, is going hard to the bench. Onyela Adamas is on to pinch hit. He'll hit for Molander. So Adamas comes highly touted as one of the hot young prospects out of Venezuela. It's my first look at Angel in person. And that one just misses down low. And Adamas showing slap. Slashes this one into the screen over top of that third base dugout. Pemi Mazulukwa is warming up in the bullpen for JDT as Devin McCullough has worked himself into some real difficulty here in the top of the 7th inning. They just needed 3 outs, but right now they are a base hit away from having this game tied up. That one's fouled. So Devin McCullough gets the out on the pass ball. I thought this was a foul ball off the bat of Adamas, but he missed it completely. And McCullough with the tag. Just the first out of the inning. So now it's Bartarillo at third and Merida up at second. And Adamas again into the screen. A little vocal from the JDT bench about wanting to keep Adamas in the box. Hard to define where the box is at the moment. Little pop up to McCullough, and suddenly McCullough is an out away of working out of this jam. They got the 1 run. The pass ball tagged out at the plate was a big break for JDT. This little flare pop-up, and now it's down to Yusuf Davis. Last chance here for the Bear Creek Express. That one in for a strike, and it's been a while since McCullough has been ahead of a batter. Down to their final strike. McCullough looks down. Called strike 3, the outside corner. McCullough pulls off the Harry Houdini act and works into and out of trouble and gets Davis looking. At the final, 3-1 for JDT First Energy. A nervous 7th inning from Devin McCullough, but they hang on for the win. That's it for day 1 here at the ISC Canada East qualifier. Hill United, Northeast Drillers, and JDT First Energy are your winners here in the white division. Make sure you're following along on Game Changer on the ISC Canada East Facebook page, as well as the ISC website for all of the scores and updates. And be sure to join us back here tomorrow morning on Softball Premier TV. Thanks to Luciano Lafrano. Thanks to Steve Cool, my right-hand man tonight, for all the hard work. We'll see you on the flip side tomorrow. Have a great night.